Good afternoon and welcome to BUTV News at Noon. I'm Keiko Talley.
And I'm Cal McLaughlin, leading the news at this hour. It's back to work, school, and the almost impossible daily commute here in Boston after the city is buried by several snowstorms. The MBTA buses and subway service resumed after a shutdown yesterday. BUTV News reporter Alex Hirsch is standing by in Kenmore Square with this live report on the morning rush, slush, and snow this hour.
Now, the MBTA has just released a statement online stating that they are expecting a lot of delays, specifically with the red and the orange lines. We are expecting a little bit more snow today that will pile on top of these monuments of snow standing behind me, but it is not expected to affect public transportation. People are out and about today, braving the cold weather, as Kenmore is once again alive.
Boston is back in business. Professionals are headed back to work and students are headed back to school after Boston was hit with yet another major snowstorm these past 2 days. City and school workers continue to work hard in frigid temperatures, clearing tracks and sidewalks so the citizens of Boston could make their commute. After the majority of public transportation was shut down yesterday, the T opened back up on a limited schedule, causing delays for many people.
It was a slow ride in, but we got here and we're doing great. So we were a little bit late, but that's fine.
It was a little bit longer than usual. I usually take the MBTA commuter route, and the trains are running really late this morning, so it's about an hour extra going to school, but other than that, it wasn't too bad.
While Boston is experiencing delays, it is nice to at least be up and running. Professionals are behind at their jobs, and some students have missed as many as 6 days of school.
I've missed a lot of Monday classes, and I still haven't had one of my Monday classes, actually, so, yeah.
While Boston tries to get back on track, more snow is expected this Thursday and into the weekend.
Now, some schools have already released statements stating that certain classes will be taking place on the weekends, including the buildings will be open for students to work on projects. Hopefully that will help students get back on track. Reporting live from Kenmore, I'm Alex Hirsch with BUTV News at noon.
And the Boston Teachers Union will vote today whether to have a make-up school day. Dates considered: Evacuation Day holiday on March 17th and potentially the Bunker Hill Day on June 17th. Teacher would not be paid extra for teaching on these holidays.
Boston commuters are continuing to struggle with complications from the relentless storm. BUTV News reporter Catherine Huntley-Bockers has some of their stories.
During the snowstorms of the past few weeks, people have been having a lot of trouble getting around the city of Boston.
The biggest problem is from the transportation from one place to another. You don't have a taxi, you don't have the bus on time, you don't have the train on time, so you're always late. For you to get to one place, you have to leave early. If you have a 3 o'clock appointment, obviously you have to leave your house like at 12 o'clock. So that's a really strain on people.
One worker thinks that travel bans should be enacted more regularly for large storms.
They should give time for the crews to work and give people a break so they don't feel obligated where they have to get out there. And some of the elderly, but yeah, I think that it should be banned, and they should ease up on the workers and let people take care of what they need to.
Even though one woman works at home, she braved the storm and skied to lunch.
I've been shoveling a lot and skiing, which really, really helps. Get out of the house, get some exercise.
As Boston quickly approaches its snowiest winter ever, the snow cleanup will continue as 2 more winter storms are predicted to hit Boston through this coming weekend. For BUTV News, this is Catherine Huntley-Bockers.
Economic forecasters estimate that a single snow day cost the state's economy $265 million. That's $265 million every single snow day. Most of the businesses affected are retailers and restaurants. Weymouth snow removal crews have been working for almost 3 weeks straight after back-to-back storms clearing the roads, and they can't do it alone anymore. Officials have called in Massachusetts National Guard to help dig out residents of almost 6 feet of snow as they prepare for more snow. 500 Guard troops have shown up with dump trucks to clear out streets and other infrastructures buried in the snow.
And 7 Watertown first responders will be honored today at the White House for their role in capture of the Boston Marathon bombing suspects. The public safety officers were involved in the firefight that killed marathon bombing suspect Tamerlan Tsarnaev, as well as the rescue of a wounded Watertown police officer. The Watertown safety officials are among 22 public safety officers who will receive medals of valor in honor of their exceptional acts of bravery. And jury selection resumes today for the trial of Boston Marathon bombing suspect Jahar Tsarnaev. The jury selection process was put on hold this past Monday and Tuesday, and for the past 2 weeks due to the crippling amounts of snow in Boston. Judge George O'Toole Jr. continues questioning individual jurors today. 1,300 people have filled out juror questionnaires since January 5th, and 140 people have been interviewed in person. And former New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez's fiancée is granted immunity from prosecution in Hernandez's first-degree murder trial. Hernandez is accused of murdering Odin Lloyd in June 2013. Shania Jenkins will now have to testify as a prosecution witness against him. Authorities report she is suspected of disposing of the fiancé's weapon that was allegedly used to kill Lloyd, who was dating her sister at the time.
And the family of American women held captive by ISIS says they have received confirmation on her death. President Obama says the rescue of ISIS hostage Kayla Mueller was set to take place 2 days after the reports of her death. CNN's Kayla Long goes back to the beginning and tracks the crisis.
He told me that the capture of Kayla had happened just 3 or 4 days earlier.
The man he's talking about, Kayla Mueller's father. It had been 3 to 4 days since ISIS captured Kayla on August 4th, 2013. The threat from ISIS, talk about or release her name, and they would execute her. Her father, in a fog of fear and pain, happened to hear then Arizona Secretary of State Ken Bennett on the radio.
He was totally desperate and didn't know what to do and turned to me just because I happened to be a few blocks away on the radio as he was driving home.
Bennett, as Arizona's Secretary of State, carries no international diplomatic pull, but he does have friends in power. Bennett immediately connected Mueller's father with Senator John McCain and Representative Paul Gosar on their personal cells, and the diplomatic race was on to save Kayla Mueller. The Muellers suffered in excruciating silence, speaking to virtually no one about Kayla. Todd Geiler is a longtime family friend.
It's not hard to keep a secret like this when demands of this caliber are being made. When you look across your breakfast table and there's an empty chair sitting there.
For 9 months, deafening silence. Then last May, ISIS sends proof of life confirmation. 2 months later, in early July, a daring rescue attempt by U.S. forces to save journalist James Foley. It fails, but the military finds strands of hair believed to be Mueller's. Just days later, on July 12th, ISIS announces it will kill Kayla in 30 days unless the Muellers pay nearly $7 million in ransom. The 30 days pass, and again, silence. No word until this ISIS claim on Friday that Kayla Mueller was killed in this building. The Muellers, still afraid to say the wrong thing, remain in their home behind police cars, still suffering alone in a hell few can ever imagine. They released a public statement to ISIS to reach out to them privately and directly.
I think it's kind of one of the amazing parts of the story that out of their love for their daughter, they've really kind of had to almost bear this alone. And I don't know how they, as a family, have done that.
Alone no longer, Prescott, Arizona now knows and prays.
As the United States continues to fight ISIS, President Obama formally asked Congress today to authorize the ongoing military effort. This is the first time such an authorization has been sought in 13 years. The president is set to speak on this issue this afternoon. Coming up on BUTV News, the latest on what is becoming a criminal investigation concerning Whitney Houston's daughter.
And a major decision by the Daily Host show. These stories and more when BUTV News at News continues. Fucking terrible.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Friends are reporting that police are questioning the boyfriend of Whitney Houston's daughter as she remains in a coma at an Atlanta hospital. Bobby Christina Brown was found unresponsive in a bathtub, reportedly with bruises. Her boyfriend Nick Gordon was one of two people who found her. He reportedly explains bruises were a result of performing CPR. CNN Randy Kay has more on the story.
He was just 12 when he joined Whitney Houston's family.
My name is Nick Gordon. My life changed dramatically when I met Chrissy and Whitney. I was going to high school. My mom had kicked me out of the house.
Whitney Houston took Nick Gordon in at the urging of her only child, Bobby Christina Brown.
We were best friends long ago.
Whitney never adopted Nick Gordon, but did allow him to live with her famous family, growing up alongside Bobby Christina. When the singer died in 2012, media attention began to focus on Bobby Christina and Nick Gordon's relationship. He downplayed the idea they were dating to ABC News, saying, "We're just close, just going through her mom's passing and grieving together." He also confirmed on Twitter that he and Bobby Christina are not blood relatives, writing, "For the stupid people out there, she gave birth to one child, and she trusted me with everything."
Whitney Houston's brother told ABC News years ago that Nick Gordon was like a son to her. But not everyone in the family is feeling the love. In fact, Bobby Christina's aunt got a restraining order against him last year. She claimed he posted photos of guns and made threats against her. A Georgia court granted the protective order for 1 year, forbidding any contact, finding she was in reasonable fear for her safety.
Gordon has had other trouble too, like a DUI arrest last August. Despite his issues, Bobby Christina said yes when he proposed. She was spotted wearing an engagement ring. In July 2013, Bobby Christina wrote on Facebook, "Yes, we, me, Nick are engaged. I'm tired of hearing people say, 'Ew, you're engaged to your brother.' My mom never adopted him." About 6 months later came the announcement on Twitter that the couple had secretly been married. A lawyer for the family says they are not husband and wife. But still, Bobby Christina tweeted in January last year, #happily married, so in love. A follow-up to gushing tweets like this one. Nick Gordon, you are my moon, my sun, my love of my life. I'll be by your side forever. You are my world. Meanwhile, the man she calls the love of her life is not at her bedside. Police are taking a closer look at his actions the day Bobby Christina was found. And a family friend says he's not welcome at the hospital. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.
San Diego sports anchor Kyle Kraska was shot outside his home. Kraska's co-workers report that he was shot multiple times in his car. His neighbor says that she heard 2 men arguing and then as many as 10 shots fired. Reporters describe Kraska as having multiple wounds, but he is talking and alert. The San Diego police have arrested the gunman, Mike Montana. Kraska is a sports anchor for San Diego's CBS 8.
Brian Williams is taking a 6-month leave from the NBC's nightly news. NBC confirms that the reporter Brian Williams has been suspended after he claimed to be aboard a helicopter that was shot down in Iraq in 2003. His story was questioned by the helicopter crew member. NBC has launched an internal investigation of Williams' other reports. Lester Holt, anchor of NBC's Dateline, is substituting as anchor of the nightly newscast. Today, the question is, who will host The Daily Show after Jon Stewart announced he is stepping down after more than 15 years? What's next for Stewart? He discussed his future last year in an interview with CNN's Christine Amanpour. It is not clear when Stewart will sign off from the Comedy Central.
I'm just making chicken. Sometimes I make a cutlet, sometimes I make a nice teriyaki, sometimes I just grind it up and feed it to baby birds.
And
but it's still chicken.
And do you
understand what I'm
think
saying?
this chicken
Yes.
might decide to be a regular news anchor? I mean, a lot of
Regular
talk.
news?
Yeah, regular news.
Like yourself, like a real journalist.
Like myself.
I would say no. I would
Like
say
a Meet the Press.
no.
No.
I would say no.
Like-
That I don't believe is in danger of happening.
No.
Yeah, that I can pretty confidently state that I will not have my own room of situations. That's just a name I came up with. A room of situations.
Will sign off from the Comedy Central show. His contract expires in September.
The American Heart Association says there are 2 types of cholesterol, good and bad, and too much of one type or not enough of the other could put you at risk for heart disease, heart attack, or stroke.
And don't mix up my eat.
The AHA recommends all adults 20 or older should have their cholesterol checked every 4 to 6 years. A draft report issued in December by the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee says cholesterol is not considered a nutrient of concern for overconsumption. The committee will send out its final recommendations to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Agriculture. Coming up, it was a busy night last night in TD as Bruins took on the Stars.
And the BU women's hockey team took on Northeastern in this year's Beanpot. Our sports anchor has more after this break.
What's up next, sports?
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group.
much good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
And welcome back to BUTV News. Big night in hockey last night. Lauren, what can you tell us?
It was a big night last night. We didn't get to see the men's Beanpot final, but the women's team brought home a win for BU. In last night's consolation game, the number 7 Women Terriers defeated Northeastern 3-1. It was a close game all night, but the Terriers persevered. Harvard snatched the women's Beanpot from defending champion Boston College with a close 3-2 win. Last time number 4 Harvard won was back in 2010. We'll have more Beanpot coverage for you in 2 weeks when BU and Northeastern go head-to-head for the men's Beanpot championship. And it seems that even an MBTA shutdown can't keep Boston hockey fans at home. In a sold-out game, the Dallas Stars shut down Boston with a 5-3 win and 2 shorthanded goals. This ends the Bruins' run as the only NHL team to have not allowed a shorthanded goal this season. Stars Tyler Seguin, former Bruins player, did play last night, but he has still yet to score against his former teammates. Patriots Super Bowl hero Malcolm Butler is driving a brand new truck today. Tom Brady was named Super Bowl MVP, receiving a 2015 Chevy Colorado truck. Brady handed over the keys to Butler with congratulations on the game-winning play. Butler, instead of Brady, will now be expected to pay the $15,000 in taxes for the $35,000 truck. And a Tennessee couple could be getting as much as $20,000 for a forgotten Vince Lombardi sweater. Sean and Nikki Evoy bought the old West Point sweater from a North Carolina Goodwill for just 58 cents. Only after watching a Lombardi documentary did they recognize the sweater as belonging to the football legend. The sweater has been officially authenticated and is up for auction by Heritage Auctions until February 21st.
And seems you can never know what kind of treasures you'll find at those secondhand stores.
No, you never can. And be sure to catch the Celtics tonight. They'll be playing the Atlanta Hawks at TD Garden at 7:30.
Bets are off at a landmark Las Vegas casino demolished last night. The Clarion Hotel and Casino was imploded after closing last September. The landmark building was just off the Las Vegas Strip and went through several bankruptcies and owners. A developer bought the property for $22 million and promises to replace it with something big. And coming up, this week's weather forecast, Boston braces for another Arctic chill. And just in time for Valentine's Day, a cuddling convention to keep you warm this weekend.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Snowfall again during tonight's commute and another potential storm this weekend. BUTV Nikita Simpap has the latest forecast.
Since this morning, we've been seeing some flurries drifting in the city of Boston. They're being generated in the east and moving west towards Newton and beyond. It is a chilly day and wind chills continue to remain between 5 and 15 degrees. And let's look at the temperatures right now. Boston is at about 19 degrees, while parts of western Massachusetts are in the singles, with Jaffrey as cold as -1 and it's 0 in Orange. It's about 30 degrees out in Cape Cod, and there's also a big storm right now right outside of Massachusetts. We could get a coating of up to 1 inch of snow here in Boston and up to 3 inches out in Cape Cod where it's closer. The highs today look bleak, with Boston at 24 degrees and Worcester at 21. With the wind, it's going to feel a lot colder. The first storm we'll be seeing will be moving in overnight, and the morning looks dry, but there will be some snow from the afternoon to the night, impacting tomorrow's evening commute. This storm is expected to move all the way out to Nova Scotia, so we'll be escaping the brunt of it. The long weekend ahead of us looks cold and dry with bitter winds, wind chills as a second storm sets in. On Saturday through Sunday morning, a big Arctic blast will bring down temperatures to below 0, with highs remaining in the teens, so more cold and more snow is on its way.
These frigid temperatures will be with us next week, which is the February school vacation week for Massachusetts schools. If you don't have a Valentine for this weekend or are in need of some affection, you might want to check out the first ever Cuddle Convention this Saturday. The 12-hour convention is strictly platonic and non-sexual. It was created by professional cuddler Samantha Hess, who is also the founder of Cuddle Me Up, a business that provides platonic touch for clients through cuddle sessions. Hundreds of people will attend the convention taking place on Valentine's Day this Saturday in Portland, Oregon. And that's it for BUTV News at Noon. I'm Keiko Talley.
And I'm Callum McLaughlin. Thanks for watching and have a great day.